Hello, my friends. I hope you're enjoying this holiday season wherever you might be in the world. Myself, I've been doing a really deep dive on all things omega 3 lately. Been listening to podcasts, doing a little research via Chat GPT, and doing the usual stuff on YouTube and Google. And as always, I'll talk about my current number one podcast, The Proof, with Simon Hill and a couple of the guests he's had on there. And he's got a lot, he's like got some really in-depth stuff on this subject. So in-depth that it's probably over my head. And I've listened to a couple of these very long podcasts a number of times. When I recommend podcasts or when I recommend people, I'll just give you a little perspective coming from me, what I'm looking for. I don't like emotion when I'm trying to learn about something. I don't like people talking loud, trying to convince me, trying to, be a preacher or whatever. I just like people that have calm conversations and put the facts and put studies out there. And that's also something that he does, is he puts a lot of he shares the links to a ton of studies on almost every subject that he is researching. Now, basically, I'm just going to share from my notes with you because, like I say, this is some complicated stuff. And the takeaway here is I never should be the end point. I just like to curate content and just point you in the direction of people that are a lot smarter. And that's what I think most of us should be doing, and just instead of just following or looking at Joe on the internet or this guy that's got a big social media account. I like the doctors and scientists, and I'm going to recommend a couple of them to you. So basically, omega-3 fatty acids, which include ALA, EPA, and DHA, are all very important. They have a big role in heart health, brain function, and inflammation control. Now, as far as heart health goes, the role of the omega-3s, omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA and DHA, and I'm going to swing back to conversion here in a minute, so remember that. Especially EPA and DHA contribute to cardiovascular health. They can help lower triglycerides, reduce blood pressure, and decrease the risk of blood clot formation. Also for brain function, DHA, a crucial component of the brain, is essential for proper cognitive function and development. EPA also plays a role in supporting overall brain health and may have mood stabilizing effects. And that's the part, being like I've mentioned it before, I'll be 60 in just a few months. And when I got thinking about this and listening to a few talks on this as it relates to dementia and brain health, really got me thinking, like, I'm going to get on this coming year and be even more diligent about it. And also for inflammation control. And it's like omega-3s are known for their anti-inflammatory properties. They help balance the body's inflammatory response, potentially reducing the risk of chronic inflammatory conditions. And as far as the inflammation goes, the omega-6 fatty acids, while they are essential, are pro-inflammatory in excess. So it's very important to maintain that balance ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 for controlling inflammation. And now let's talk a little bit about, and this is where it gets into the tricky part, and this is where I really tell you to go and listen to some of these people that I'm talking about, because they explain it very much in depth. It makes sense. There's science behind it. There's studies. These people, like one of the people that I was listening to, this is basically, he's made omega-3s his whole, pretty much his life. Now, here's the thing, and that's another thing I like about this podcast and several of the podcasts that I listen to. They're very straightforward. They're also not like, they admit things. Like, one of the first things they'll admit is fatty fish is a very absorbable, it's a very usable form of omega-3s. Here's the thing, plant-based foods, we get ALA through, but ALA, it's not very efficient, and it doesn't convert to EPA and DHA, which is the main part that we need very efficiently. So a lot of this stuff, like I was looking on Google and I saw like I came across one thing that just said, add 1 tablespoon of flax seeds a day and you're fine with your omega-3s. I use a flaxseed and I do recommend daily flax seeds, but that's not it on its own. So it's very difficult to convert the ALA to the EPA. Also, something too is the omega 6s and omega 3s, they're competing for pathways. So there's several ways you can get your omega 3s in there. Yes, eating foods such as chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, walnuts. But once again, you have to remember that the conversion is not terribly efficient. So I started looking into, it's been a while and I don't know why I got off of it, but I was supplementing with EPA and DHA for a while, like a vegan, a totally plant-based supplement that is from algae oil. Algae oil is a good source of DHA and EPA. It's a direct source of DHA and EPA, and it bypasses the conversion from having to convert from the ALA to that. Now the reason is, and that's why I make the choice. Yes, as I say, it does you no good to defy the science and say no, fish isn't a good source. Fish is a good source of EPA, and people get it from that. The reason is but I just choose not to, especially the oceans, as far as consuming any kind of animal products. The oceans are full of mercury. They're full of they're full of microplastics. They're full of parasites. I see these videos all the time of people cutting open fish and they're just being parasites all in them. And just tons of other stuff out there. Our oceans are just getting dirtier and dirtier. So I really don't, just don't care to be ingesting that stuff into my body. Now also too, you can come at it from the ethical standpoint and also too from an environmental standpoint, that if we were to get the whole world the amount of omega-3s that the world should be eating to be healthy, we'd overfish our waters and that wouldn't even be sustainable. So, there you go there. Now, like I say, the one takeaway from all of this is, for me, is number one, that's something that I want to get tested next year. I want to get omega-3 tested. Because I've found, like I say, it's just really, it's funny, going through trying to be healthy, eating differently, learning about different things. Even after years, you find something new and you go, you know what, I probably need to focus on this a little bit more. So mine is, I'm going to get it tested just to see where I sit. I don't know when I'll do that. I'm going to do it sometime in the new year. And I'm going to continue to try to keep my omega-6 fats low. And just eating the others on a regular basis. I use flax seeds in my smoothies. I always, anytime now that I make a green smoothie, I use flax seeds in there. And a lot of times, even when I make my fruit smoothies, it doesn't add taste or anything. So I'll put some in there. I also generally like to have like a very small palmful of walnuts each day. I have chia seeds. I use hemp seeds in salad dressings and other recipes. And like I say, I will continue to try to eat as much of the good stuff, the omega-3 high stuff that I can. Kind of try to limit the omega-6 so that I'm not competing and I am converting as much as possible. But I think when all is said and done, unless I get my results back at some point and they're just really, really good in the high range where I should be, I'm probably going to get back to supplementing on a regular basis from an algae oil. So like I say, that's just me. I just kind of wanted, like I say, I wanted to introduce this today as something that you might want to look into that's very, very important. Because one of the talks, and I should go ahead, I'll finish up talking about this, two of the doctors I'm going to talk about, and I'll drop links to those episodes below. I'll try to remember. I'm a little bit not that great in the head myself. But the first is Doctors Dean and Aisha Sherzai. Now, she's a vascular neurologist. So like I say, these are not just people making YouTube channels or doing whatever. These are scientists. These are doctors. She's a vascular neurologist. He's a behavioral neurologist, and both are research scientists as well. So this is their field of study. This is what they do. This is not just like something that they did for an episode of a podcast or one time. I think they've even written books on this subject. And they have a very good, they have several, they've been on The Proof several times. And one of the talks, the one I'm currently kind of in the middle of, I'll finish off at the gym today, is on brain health. So be sure and listen to that one for sure. The next one is Dr. Bill Harris, and he's a professor and researcher. And he's a little bit older than him. He's actually he's a research guy. He's focused his own whole career pretty much on omega-3 fatty acids and how they're related to cardiovascular disease and neuropsychiatric disease. So like I said, that's just a bunch of stuff for you. I would never intend for this to be an end-all be-all video. It's just to stress the importance of this, the omega-3, for our heart health and our brain health, and just maybe give you some resources you want to look into for yourself. So anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. I'll see you guys here, I don't know, soon. It is with the holidays. I don't know. I might make one tomorrow. I might make one this weekend. If not, I might make till after Christmas. But however, y'all have a beautiful rest of the week. Peace.